Hello once again and welcome back to another episode of Father and Son Days, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week we are on episode 47.
47?
Yes,
Blimey, that's quite high, isn't it?
Yeah, very high. And guess what?
What?
We're talking about toys.
Excellent.
It's building up to Christmas. Anyway, stick around if you want to hear more. Good evening.
Oh, good evening to you too.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. I've forgotten a piece of paper that I was meant to leave around to remind me of your name. So would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm David. I'm currently 53. I once appeared in a local newspaper called the Evening Echo with Chaz from Chaz and Dave. They were appearing at Adrian's record shop and the other Dave had gone to the toilet, but the Echo had a picture of me with Chaz and Dave at local record store under it.
Well, your name is Dave.
Yes, claim to fame.
It is. Oh, hang on, I don't know what's happened to my voice there. Hang on. Sorry, my voice went a bit funny. My name's Connor, in case you weren't aware. I am 23, so I'm exactly near enough 30 years younger than you. And I have been thinking about my voice recently. I've been thinking I'm not a fan of it. And bearing in mind we do a podcast where people have to listen to my voice, I thought it was quite horrible that they have to listen to this.
Right.
So I've been trying to think about ways I can change it up, and I thought I could just try a couple of them on you. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
So I was thinking I could either go for, hello, my name is Connor. How's that?
Okay, that's certainly different.
Or, hello, this is Connor, and I am giving you the weather forecast. Today it is cloudy, and a bit later on it gets darker.
That's starting to sound like some characters I've heard on this particular podcast anyway. If I had to go for one of them, I'd go for the deeper one. But there's nothing wrong with your voice anyway. So
I should speak like this for the rest of the podcast then.
Yeah. Well, perhaps practice it.
It does
hurt.
hurt.
Yeah, perhaps practice it and then we'll do a couple of runs for the next one. But there's nothing wrong with your voice. You just keep it as it is. I've always thought that I've got a terrible voice myself, and I've always thought that I'd rather have a regional voice, like a regional dialect
I've got regional voice.
Yeah, but a different one. So
right.
Geordie or
like
Scottish or
Thames. No, the estuary accent.
Yeah. So
Estuary Essex kind of accent.
the grass is not always greener on the other side.
So what accent would you choose?
I quite like a soft Scottish accent, which I won't try and attempt now. I do like the Geordie accent, but yeah, I'll stick with what I've got, I guess.
Right. What are we talking about again this week?
Toys.
Why is that?
Well, excuse me.
You're excused.
Obviously, we are only a matter of days away from Christmas. And
yes. At the time of recording, it's exactly 1 week.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, what really, when you look deep inside, what is the one thing about Christmas that you think of when someone says Christmas? What's the first thing that pops into your head?
Pistachios. I don't know why I thought pistachios.
You don't even eat nuts.
I don't eat pistachios. You said what's the first thing you think of, and I thought pistachios.
Right, okay. I don't know why you're thinking of them. Well, no, the first thing you should think of is the nicer things, but let's face it, a lot of people, especially those smaller people...
If you mix them with paw fruit, Dad.
Yes, yeah, right, that's from last week, isn't it? Is toys.
Right. Okay.
And bearing in mind, you said at the beginning this episode was about toys.
You expect me to go on that?
Not a surprise for anybody that we're going to actually start talking about it. So, toys, right? Very exciting. Still very exciting for some men. You know, some people grow out of it. I haven't grown out of it. I don't think you're going to ever grow out of it too. Toys and Christmas. So, when you were younger, you know, there was always this thing with me that I would get a parcel, and if that parcel was interesting, it wouldn't be squashy. If a parcel was squashy, it meant it was clothes.
Yeah,
and if it was clothes, then at the time that would be boring, and it's not something you could do anything with, and it might even be something that you couldn't use straight away. And I think most people are like that. I've yet to come across a child that opens up and gets a pair of socks and is over the moon about it. But if you put something in there that they can play with, they can instantly get out of that box.
Unless it's a sock puppet.
Maybe a sock puppet, yes. Did you ever get sock puppets for Christmas?
No, because you generally get socks and then turn them into sock puppets.
I mean, obviously I'm talking about the toys that maybe alongside the toys that Santa bring, that the parents go out and look for and help out and do. So when you're when you were younger, was there anything particularly that would stand out for you as a toy? Something that you remember?
We've spoken about before. I barely remember being at school.
Yeah, so you have this sort of...
I have a mental block on my childhood.
Yeah, and not for a terrible reason. It's not like we're going to unlock that with some therapy at some point.
No, I just can't remember.
As far as I know, you had a quite pleasant childhood, a quite nice growing up thing.
Growing up thing. It's called a growing up thing.
Yeah.
As is what is referred to as you grow up.
Yes.
The growing up thing, I think most people do it.
So I'm trying to think. I can remember certain toys that you had.
I remember this wasn't Christmas, but I remember one holiday in when it was my birthday as well, being bought pretty much everything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
That was good, actually, because I remember laying them all out. And when I say I remember laying them all out, it's because photos have been taken, which helps. But I remember having them all laid out and wearing.
You had the outfit as well.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costume.
And
there was a Raphael one.
Was it Raphael?
Yeah.
What colour was that then?
Red.
Ah, see, you'd still remember that, don't you?
Yes. And
yes.
One of my favourite things in that was they used to have the van that they used to drive around in the TV show. And yeah, that was really cool. I don't know where that is now.
See, I remember you having all these sort of things.
And I remember going to a convention and buying a Splinter one because I didn't have Splinter.
Yes, that was the rat. Yeah. The one who teaches them that they're sort of martial arts master.
Sorry, we've got a guest
slightly
in the room
distracted
today.
by a cat looking around a box and then going back.
Stood up, looked around a box and then laid back down again.
That was too much for him. Yeah, yeah, no, I remember you having them, and personally, I had lots of. I was very lucky when I was younger, and we had good things to play with, and I've actually gone out and asked some people about what they remember from their childhood as well with toys, and we'll come to that. But one of the things that I had that I always loved was action figures. So you talk about the Ninja Turtles, they were slightly bigger than I'm talking about action figures, but they were action figures all the same. You could play with them, you can reenact bits and pieces with them. Well, I had, the majority of mine would have been Star Wars ones.
Yep.
So, as we both know, I have now got hundreds of these stored away in boxes for the minute.
How old were you when Star Wars first came out?
77, I'd have been 9.
Right.
So I did have some of the original ones. So they did sort of change them, and they become.
I used to play with these when I was younger.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I used to get them all out and have basically an entire living room filled with all these action figures.
Yeah, it was. It looks a bit funny now because I've got them all individually wrapped in little bags, so it looks like something horrific's happened, and they're all lined up. But no, I had to say,
well played with those toys.
Oh yeah, I had a handful of them at first when I was younger, and I wasn't perhaps quite as young as other people that were playing with those sort of things. I did give those away to someone though. A friend of mine's brother was quite into it, and I ended up giving him those, which are probably worth quite a bit now. But then I started, but I would use those in conjunction with, and one of the probably people cite as one of the best toys ever is Lego.
Yes,
but
I agree.
One of my, and again I'll come on to this, but at the time you normally would just have buckets of Lego. So basically, if you had a collection of Lego, it'd just be all different coloured bricks and all different coloured bits to put on, roofs and things like that, and windows and that. But nothing really had any transfers on it. Nothing was themed. So you'd have these, and I remember making a Millennium Falcon, which if you saw it, you'd think That don't look nothing like the Millennium Falcon. But
Just
in
a
order to
colourful
put my...
bit of unicorn.
Well, I
sick.
didn't have... Oh, lovely. But it was like... It was all about imagination then. So I used to build that, and they used to sit them in there, and I used to do... You know, it was all part of that. One of the things I think's a little bit now with Lego... I wish people would play a little bit more with just the bricks. When you're a kid, I guess they'd still do that sort of thing, but obviously now, and I'm surrounded by some stuff in here, but some of the more elaborate ones, they're fantastic because they're like models in themselves, you know, and they look incredible, but they are themed towards a particular thing. You buy a box and it is a certain thing, rather than you buy a box full of bricks and you use your imagination to do it. I think there's room for both of those.
Yeah, there's absolutely room for both of those. And I think the idea of the sets nowadays, and there's been sets for a very long time. You're saying about you used to have them in boxes. The sets were still around. It's just that people would just have the boxes. But in terms of like Lego sets, is you've got the availability and possibility of buying this set and feeling... buying the set, building something, but when something's built with Lego, that's not a permanent fixture. There's still the opportunity to tear that down and build something new, and Lego are aware of that, and that they're bought as sets, but they've got all this creative aspects to them, and even to a point where, I don't know, Star Wars wise, just talking about Star Wars, you might build a Lego TIE Fighter, which you can still use in creative play, amongst other things.
Yeah, but and actually, it's just
really
reminded me
there
was a program on TV, wasn't it? And I mean, obviously, these people usually had a parent and one a son or daughter, and they'd be making these week on week.
You're talking about Lego Masters?
Yeah.
No, so it's normally just a pair. Sometimes there were two kids. Sometimes there were a kid and their parent. Sometimes there were two adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that was good. Right, other things then. Now, did we have a Mr. Potato Head?
I don't remember. I think we might have.
We might have had it one time. I always thought that when they had the plastic one and all the rest of it, and obviously Toy Story, things have come out of films that have been made since, but we had one originally, and when I look back, I was right. I thought I'd misremembered it, but all you used to get was the bits that you stick on.
Into a potato.
So you'd have a big baked potato and you'd stick the things on those, and that would be it. So obviously you had to replace a potato every now and again because they go a bit rotten, especially when you're pushing things into them. But that's the way that was. There was all... And you had lots of cars, didn't you? Like, I mean, I don't know what... Would they be Matchbox or would they be...
Hot Wheels probably.
Hot Wheels with you. But I mean, they used to do special ones, sort of the Matchbox ones, where they'd do... So you might have James Bond cars. So I particularly remember the Aston Martin with the revolving number plate, the machine guns that went out, the plate at the back that went up, and the ejector seat in it as well. We had one of those, the Batmobile. We had one of those, and they were like... die cast, so metal, quite heavy. They felt like they were quality as well. I mean, sometimes now you can get the cheap old sort of cars that you get, what's your plastic or less. When you get the actual metal ones, die cast ones, they do feel like they're something a bit special. But then lots of people would have them. Other stuff I remember now, Fuzzy Felt. You remember Fuzzy Felt, don't you?
Yeah, wasn't that the kind of a Velcro type thing that didn't know by name, but and then like you get cut out felt like hairstyles and stuff like that you just place on the top.
Yeah, so you had a flat thing that, and it wasn't. I suppose it was particularly Velcro, but it was that sort of thing. And you just had these cut out felt things that you'd put on there and sort of make little scenes and all that.
Like one of these type things. I've got like cable ties there.
Yeah, sort of thing to do it. But I didn't know whether that had carried on, but that apparently is still going. Is still, people still do things. I suppose for a certain age group. I guess now with toys, well, you could, but I guess now with toys, there's so much sort of technical, side to it. There's lots of things are mechanical, or there's some element to it that has that sort of tech in it. So something like that, which is pure, just sticking something on a board and that, seems a bit primitive, but it shows that those sort of things are still relevant to kids now, you know. And,
it's like doing a jigsaw.
Well, it is.
Jigsaws are still a thing.
One of the other things as well that it comes into this is board games. And we'll probably speak a little bit more about that as we go on. But board games, I think now, when I was a kid, I wasn't so bothered about them. But I think now, as an adult, they've become something that I want to do. But you kids have always, like, as in you and your siblings, I've always been quite into actually playing board games. It's been quite a favourite thing for us all to get together and do that. Yeah,
it's a family one, isn't it?
Yeah. So, you know, that we've got many that, I don't know what your particular favourite one of the ones we've got, but we've had many ones that we've sort of broke out. Does tend to cause arguments and that, but, you know, the Monopolies and the Cluedos and all that sort of thing. Fact check. On last week's podcast, I mentioned that in the 2010s there were some major disasters, including a tsunami. However, for some reason I pronounced it Tusanis instead of tsunami. Apologies, I can confirm there were no sandwich-related life-changing world events to my knowledge in that decade. Fact check. Also, I've got an apology, really. I should have said at the very beginning. Yes, I'm afraid so.
What have you done?
Well, looking back on last week's quiz, there were some stunning inaccuracies in that quiz. Wasn't there? Yes, I mean, it was just a nonsense in the end. So I'd just like to say I am extremely sorry, and I will try to be much better at doing this as we go forward.
How sorry are you?
I'm extremely sorry.
Are you really sorry?
I was really sorry.
Oh, right. I didn't know if you just said it.
I didn't understand what was going on. It just seemed to be falling apart before my eyes.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, onwards and upwards. Toys. I did go out to a few people to ask them.
Did you go out or did you send them a message?
I sent them a message.
Right. Didn't know if you went to go
when
and visit
I said
them.
Go out, I meant like I went out, like as in I text them. Right, so I was sort of after.
When did you message them?
Earlier today. Why is that relevant?
No. Just saying.
What are you even saying?
Just making it sound like you've done loads of, but you've only did it a little earlier.
Don't knock me on this sort of stuff. I was in the same group chat. Yes, I know you were, yeah. Did you come back to me?
No.
No, exactly.
Didn't feel the need.
So, obviously, you have
very obvious.
2 sisters. Right?
Yes, I do actually, yeah, that's correct.
So when I went out to them and asked them about, you know, what particularly, I think I worded it as what toy was your favourite or what was significant when you were younger, sort of thing. And, I mean, one of your sisters was talking about Polly Pockets, right?
I know which sister that is.
You know which sister that was, yeah. But those things, the only thing with that was that were really fiddly. You know, I think that was invented. I watched a documentary, right, and that was invented by a guy who just wanted something more portable for his young little girl to play with. Mm-hmm. And it was very crude and just had this little made-up little figure in it, and he'd made some, as it opened up, it had like little, it was cardboard almost, I think, with a little staircase and all the things. But they become really elaborate.
Yeah, and they became rubbery and stuff like that.
And bigger. That was a real problem with them. They become, all right, not massive, but they were far
big,
bigger.
Weren't they? About
that
3
big,
inches.
Yeah. Which is, it just made a mockery of it. I'm sorry, they should never have done that.
The thing with those is, I saw saying people with Polly Pockets, and I know Becky used to do this, where you'd play with Polly Pockets, you get Polly Pockets for Christmas, you'd put on all the clothes on the Polly Pocket, and then you'd chew on the shoe of it for like the next rest of the day. And because they used to be rubbery, and Becky used to chew on them.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, another waste of money. People just don't take care of their own things anymore. Other stuff.
They were quite a satisfying material, to be fair.
Yeah, I seem to remember them as well. She commented that she liked your cars and used to do little traffic jams in them, I believe.
Oh, don't talk about traffic jams.
Liked your...
I caused a traffic jam.
You did cause a traffic jam, didn't you?
Well, no, not me caused it.
No, you didn't cause it, but you were involved in a little bit of a fender bender.
It wasn't quite little, was it?
No, it wasn't, Connor. It wasn't.
It was quite heavily a van going very hard into the rear of my car, spinning me into a pickup truck in the front, and leaving my car looking very sad and probably written off.
It did indeed, but as we said many times, it was a bit of a shock, but as we said many times, you walked away from it, I don't know, but
yeah, I walked
the
out
most
the car.
important thing was that you were okay.
Luckily I got spun a bit and didn't go underneath the pickup truck.
Yes, exactly, yes. Very sobering that was.
Yeah.
But the police were wonderful. Big shout out to the police.
And the fireman that just happened to be driving past and then just stopped for us. The transport police as well that just happened to be driving past. They normally do trains, but they just appeared at the scene.
Yes, the way you took the mick out of me on there when I...
Yeah, you said, yeah, we'll see what the law says. I'm thinking, Dad, when have you ever used the term the law?
I'm sure I use that all the time.
No, you just sounded like you're off like the Peaky Blinders or something, and you're just trying to go.
Well, I can counteract that with, right, there was a stunning moment where you started reading something out and when Tango Foxtrot...
Yeah,
Echo, whatever, started doing all that as well. I thought, who does he think he is on Juliet Bravo?
I heard you say that actually. You said he starts reading. You don't even know what the name of that alphabet is, I bet.
No, I don't.
It's phonetic alphabet.
Phonetic alphabet, I knew that.
Yeah, but you couldn't think of it.
No.
It makes total sense. If I'm reading out letters to someone, or I said P, B, T, E, which one would you think I said first?
I don't know. No, fair enough. We've been through this. We've been through all that sort of...
Where I went P, E, T, G.
Yeah, just said it in a funny voice so no one would understand what you're talking about. But
No, yeah. I was reading at the phonetic alphabet because it makes it easier for the policeman to take down.
Okay,
yes,
so...
I was in an accident. I'm fine. My car is not.
No.
Very much so. But
very much so.
He's taken full liability because it was his fault, the van driver.
But... as you said, emergency services, let's call them that. Big shout out to them. They're all brilliant. The police, the transport police, the fire engine. Even the ambulance if it had turned up, but obviously...
it was a 10-hour wait.
Yeah, so. The R&I.
I appreciate wasn't... The lifeboat turned up.
Yeah, they turned up. They were great. Yeah, but we didn't need their help. Anyway, no. So, yes, that was all very upsetting, but... yeah, still here.
That's why we're recording this on a Saturday, because we just didn't get time in the week.
No, it's been a bit of a mad week.
Had a desk delivered in the week and couldn't build it because I'd been in a car accident.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know.
Built it now, though.
Yeah, it looks lovely, that.
Yeah, it's really big, isn't it?
It is really big.
Anyway,
I'll tell you what, you might want
traffic jams.
She liked traffic jams.
She liked building traffic jams. I remember doing it with her. We used to have I don't know if you ever had one, but the car mats. I know a lot of people that had them.
I don't think I did.
In my
have
generation
that
that had them. They basically just a rug, but with all the roads on it, and they were amazing. And Becky used to line up, and me as well, used to line up all the cars around one particular point.
It's interesting you just created a traffic jam, though.
Well, it's because you basically get out all of the cars you have.
So there's far too many anyway.
Because you wouldn't be, and then if you were when you're moving more than two cars at a time, it's near impossible. So,
well, fair enough. But she also went on to say, and I like this. She used to like your Action Men. And I thought, right, I don't remember playing with Action Men. And I thought, well, I did see her with them because she wanted them as husbands for her Barbies.
Yeah.
Nice.
Action Men were cool, weren't they?
Action Men are cool. I mean, I had one, I think. I always dreamt...
They were very different in your era to my era, though.
Yeah, no, they were.
Your one had like this kind of... the haircut was a kind of blondie... foam-like crew cut.
They had they were kind of army, always detailed as that, so they had this cropped haircut.
My Action Man had a black quiff, near enough, wasn't it?
Yeah, yours were a little bit more cool, a little bit more like... And
an orange tattoo on its
yes.
Maybe that's the big reason why I really like a colour orange.
You were into your Action Man at the time, yeah. You did like all that.
I went to the zoo in an Action Man.
You did go into the zoo in an Action Man outfit.
On my birthday.
What a fetching that was as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, stood by the elephants, looking well cool.
Yeah, but one of the things I remember...
Got a Captain Scarlet outfit one Christmas as well. Sorry, carry on.
Which was, and it still to a certain degree freaks me out, is the girls both Annie and Becky like their dolls. Now, I don't mind, each their own with what they have and all the rest of it. And it's quite sweet when you see a little boy or girl, with a baby and looking after it, because, if they've got siblings and that, it's all quite nice sort of growing up in that sort of vein. But what I don't like is the interactive babies.
Sorry, I'm going to jump in and say what I didn't like is how many there were.
There were many.
Into this
well,
room,
she'd want one so Becky would want one every single
Christmas
birthday. Yeah. So
and they had an ottoman as well filled with them.
Yeah,
you pull them out and there'd just be all these babies just laying there.
Yep, that's
terrifying.
Right. No, so absolutely that. Yeah. And so there was ones that you could feed, baby all gone, which you could feed with these little a spoon with a little cherry thing on. And inevitably they used to try and feed themselves with that and get their tongues caught on it or their lips stuck on the end of it. Idiots.
Imbeciles.
But the ones that used to do me is I'd come in to check on, because the girls had a room together. I used to come in and check, and you'd look, this one we're in now, and the girls would be fast asleep, and then there'd be a movement from the corner, and one of the dolls would either open their eyes and look at you. It wasn't quite time to play, like it wasn't Chucky, but it was like they'd say something or make a little noise or move, and it used to freak me out. I've got quite an active imagination, and it used to freak me out big time when these things used to activate as such.
Sound like a Robot Wars now.
But we had loads of Barbies. We had everything from... No, I didn't.
Oh.
But I remember having ones that had... Like she had the
Again,
pregnant
you're still making
ones.
It sound like you had them.
Yes, I am talking as if I had them. But I had like... pregnant bellies that then you removed, and then the baby there. It was all supposed to be teaching how to. I mean, let's face it. When you see all the adverts for this sort of stuff, especially when you're coming up to Christmas, they do it all the time.
It shows how little girls are really catered towards their maternal instincts from a young age.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mum, your mum, my wife, she had a teeny tiny tears when she was little. And that was a similar sort of thing, that used to cry.
Just really little tears.
Yeah, little tiny tears. Little tiny tears. But, we used to have, I know...
These be ones that used to wet themselves and stuff like that, didn't they?
Well, there are ones that do poos and things like that now. I mean...
Do they do poos?
Yeah.
I know the weeing one was a real thing.
They do wees, but they do poos as well.
That's got to be harder to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends,
How do you make a plastic thing do a poo?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the ins and outs to coin a phrase.
Should we take one apart?
Take one apart and find out the mechanism of what it... A couple of the ones they've had, I don't know that they've done poos. They've looked a bit constipated. But some of them are really horrible looking as well. I think the bigger they get, or the more they try and make them look accurate, the worse they are. I think if you get a baby-looking baby, like something that's a little bit sort of cartoony, that's not too bad. But when they try and make them... I mean, there's adults that walk around with prams with babies in them that are not real.
Yeah, I mean, each to their own, if that's what they want to do.
Freaks.
Wow, I wasn't going to try and do that. But
No, not really. No, each to their own. Absolutely. That's your thing, that's your thing.
But you've said it now, haven't you?
But no, these look... really, really real, to the point where people may well come up to her in the street, look in, and sort of, beautiful little boy or beautiful little girl. But anyway,
people do that with dogs as well.
Going back another generation from there, talking to NJ, your nan, she was talking about she was very, very lucky because she had a pram and a baby that she used to be able to push around, and And again, there's a thing about being a bit stereotypical. I'm pointing at you about boys play with this and girls play with that. And obviously, these days, kids play with whatever they want to play with, and most adults and parents sort of embrace that. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just let a child play with whatever that child wants to play with, as long as it's not firearms or knives?
But that's an American thing anyway. So.
It is an American thing, yeah. But
lots of toddlers with guns.
Obviously, when you're talking about, so that would have been 1930s.
Yeah.
That would have been very much how, and you see adverts from even in my youth.
It's a bit like how
in the sort of 80s, in the 70s in the 70s, and then into the 80s, it was all still pink, blue.
Well, this is the thing. If
cars,
you go into
dolls.
This is worth kind of getting to gender stereotypes to a certain extent, because even when you get stuff like the kitchens and stuff, they quite often sell the pink plastic kitchens, don't they? I think Mum's tried to lean towards, because she's a childminder, getting things that are a bit more can be any gender orientated. In fact, as she will very rarely go for something pink by choice unless it's given to her.
Yeah.
But she'll go for something like, for example, the kitchen that the play kitchen that she got downstairs is a wooden one, so a child doesn't feel like they can go for it. But I think she's more likely to go for blue, because I feel there is a certain point where a little girl will go for whatever they want, but a little boy will go.
And there is look,
things.
Kids will do what they do, and there will be girls that will look at stuff that's pink and think it's wonderful because they'll see it as girly, and they'll see it.
Well,
and
they just like the colour pink,
and that is absolutely fine. They can do whatever they want, and they just people find their way through there. But I guess from that sort of time, it was very much regimented in one way or another. I did ask my older sister. My older sister came back with a Velveteen Rabbit that she used to love, that used to have in a pram. But then she talked about, and I had no idea about this, a Beatles guitar. She had a little guitar with the faces of the Beatles on it. Now, I don't know, maybe they were very, very, I imagine at the time they sold lots of them, but to have something like that now would be something quite special, wouldn't it? But I thought that was excellent, something along those lines, something that was branded like that.
It made me think of my King Rollo. I used to have a bear.
Well, bears have always been sort
soft
of
toys and bears and stuff.
Well, quite often the kid will take that to bed, and even as an adult might still take that to bed, mentioning no names.
Talking about Becky?
Yes.
Right.
She's getting quite a lot of mentions in this.
Mentioning no names, Becky. Don't worry, we didn't mention
I
your name.
wasn't going to mention it, but it's like I know kids now that like dinosaurs are I know adults that dinosaurs are their favourite things still, but
Chris?
Yeah, there you go. We're just going to keep rattling off everybody.
Yeah, keep mentioning people.
Yeah, but it's
dinosaurs are
great,
cool,
and I still love all that sort of stuff. I don't sit and play with toys, but I'd play with you when you were younger, and the girls with their bits and pieces when they were younger, and as you go on, that sort of thing will happen again.
I've heard a bit of a rumour.
Have you?
Yeah, that you've written a song this week.
I can confirm that rumour. I have written a song this week.
Ooh,
yes.
What is it about? Is it about toys?
It is about toys, but it's about when things don't quite go as planned with toys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there a story to this song?
There is a story to it.
Shall I listen to it and try and follow along with the story?
I think that's best.
Yeah.
Action man looked through binoculars and saw his Barbie girl. She was walking hand in hand with Ken, enough to make him hurl. It's all kicking off in Toy Town. The Care Bears are running amok. There's turtles ruling the sewers. Pop-up pirate is boss in the docks. He got so angry, gun in his tank, and drove right by her pad. He fired several missiles and killed them both stone dead. It's all kicking off in Toy Town. The Care Bears are running amok. There's turtles ruling the sewers. Pop-up pirate is boss in the docks. Now G.I. Joe was a friend of hers and learnt of their sad demise. He vowed to find the Action Man and punch him in his eagle eyes. Cindy learnt of G.I.'s plan and warned AM to go. Before anyone could make a move, they were consumed by an avalanche of mixed up Play-Doh. It's all kicking off in Toy Town. The Care Bears are running amok. There's turtles ruling the sewers. Pop-up pirate is boss in the docks. It's all kicking off in Toy Town. The Weebles have gone berserk. Sylvanian families are feuding. It's a Tonka toy truckload of hurt.
Game time.
Woohoo! What a fantastic song. And a great story.
Oh, yes. I think it's a stark reminder that if we don't keep our eye on them, toys will take over and rule the earth.
Yeah, I watched a documentary about it anyway.
Yeah?
Toy Story, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay.
Good documentary, that.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's going to be a fourth one. No, there's going to be a fifth one.
I was going to say, there's already been 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, on a toys-based podcast, onto a game-based toy
absolutely.
Game?
So I've sort of thought, well, do I sort of go like I've been doing and go through the internet and then write down stuff and it appears to be wrong when I actually read it out, or do I just make up something completely?
So you know it's already going to be wrong.
Yeah. So it's basically from my own head, so I don't have to prove
dangerous.
it. Yeah, it is actually quite dangerous. So I've got a sting for this.
No way.
Yeah,
I didn't expect that because you never write sting.
No, well, I have one this time. So if you play that, and then we'll get on with it. Do you know your toys? It might be worth a punt. Can you guess it from my descriptions? They're a little more honest and quite blunt. So, did that give you any clues to what the game's
sting?
about? Yeah.
No.
Okay, so
I would
the
like you to
idea of
explain
this
it to
game
make it easier for everyone to understand.
Yes, okay. The idea of this game is I'm going to give you a description that may or may not be on the box of a particular
You mean
toy
it's not going to be
or
on the box?
game on that. Well, may or may not.
It won't.
Right. And you've got to guess from my more sort of realistic and honest appraisal what that game is.
Or toy.
Or toy, or... Yes.
Or yes.
So, ready?
Could it be paper? I don't know. Yes.
Okay. Number 1.
How many are there?
10.
Oh, actually, you've gone for around 10 this
I've
week.
gone for like a...
Have you actually written like the 10th question? Like you?
I have. I've just double checked that actually. So, number 1. A game for the entire family. As long as you can't stand your family and don't mind not speaking to them for a week or 2. Or in some extreme cases, much longer. Games can last anything from a couple of hours to a whole day.
I know what this is.
Not to mention there is a chance you will be incarcerated.
Now, just to check, we are guessing what the game or toy is, yeah?
Yes.
That's Monopoly.
That is Monopoly.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I've got a love-hate relationship with Monopoly.
You love to hate it?
I love to hate it, yeah. It just goes on forever. We've talked about playing the online one, which is a lot sort of less
like on like games
cumbersome.
consoles or the Wii or the Switch or so whatever.
But it does cause all sorts
Other
of
games
arguments.
consoles are available.
And we do know, and we've mentioned this before on this podcast, probably in the ball games episode, that there's a very special couple who have a very torrid time when playing Monopoly.
Yeah, they do.
Anyway.
And that one of the very special couples, if you do play it with her, even if it's not with the other person, she gets bored eventually and just sells you absolutely everything she owns.
Yeah.
For like £1.
Pointless. Number 2.
Oh, that's a TV show.
Oh, right. If you enjoy power and have no consideration for other people's feelings, then this is the game for you. Build an empire. Take your rightful place as supreme leader and despair at other players' inability to understand the most basic of rules.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Is this Risk?
This is Risk. I've obviously made these too clear as far as
it's
these
because,
descriptions.
as you spoke about, I think we spoke about this in the board games episode. No, the games episode. It wasn't a board games episode, but you turned it into one. Sorry. Anyway, the games episode we spoke about it, but the fact that you didn't really understand the rules and just kept trying to move people where you're meant to leave one person in a place. I
don't like to look at rules. I get a little bit bored. I just like to instantly play something.
But we tell you, no, you need to do this. But you in Risk, you used to move one. You used to go pew pew pew, and you used to move.
Well, they've all got guns in there. Why wouldn't you go pew pew pew?
I've got no problem with you doing that. That you can't shoot someone from across the map. But what you were doing is if you have one person in a country, you'd move that one person into another country. But that's not something you can do.
All right, okay.
Because you need to leave someone in the other country.
We've only played that once, haven't we?
Yeah, that's because it just takes a while to play.
Okay, we'll try that again soon.
Yeah, we've got 4 days off over Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
4 days to play one big game of Risk.
Wow. Question 3. Can you hold your breath for half an hour? Have you got the poise of a brain surgeon and the fingers of a classical pianist? Then maybe, just maybe, you'll tame this beast of burden and take home the spoils.
Is this just board games?
No.
Is that Operation?
No.
Oh, wait, let me have another guess then.
Okay.
Can you read that again?
Can you hold your breath for half an hour? Have you got the poise of a brain surgeon? That's probably where you got that from.
Yeah.
And the fingers of a classical pianist? Then maybe, just maybe, you'll tame this beast of burden and take home the spoils.
Bop it. Bop it.
Bop
Twist
it?
it.
What's bop it?
Do you remember bop it?
No, I don't
He
remember
said
bop it. You've just made
the
that
machine
up.
goes bop it, and you have to bop it, and he goes twist it, and there's a bit you have to twist it,
Yeah.
and then squeeze it, and there's another bit you have to squeeze, and you just have to do whatever it says. Bop it, and then you do another bit. Twist it. Squeeze
Never
it.
heard of that.
Click it. Slap it.
Slap it.
Headbutt
Tickle it.
Tiggle it. That kind of thing. Bop it.
Oh, right. Okay, bop it. No, it's not bop it.
All right.
Did you give up?
Is it waterboarding the game?
No. You are giving up, I presume, from that.
Yes.
That game, my friend, is Buckaroo.
What?
Can you hold your breath for half an hour? Have you got the poise of a brain surgeon and the fingers of a classical pianist? Then maybe, just maybe, you'll tame this beast of burden.
Right, the only thing that really plays into that is the beast.
No. Number 4.
It goes off randomly.
May contain thousands of small parts and will maim you if left on the floor and trodden on. Use your imagination or just lazily follow the instruction to a pre-designed blueprint. Accurately coloured parts will stamp out the last flames of thought from your now empty head.
Wow, that was a very pessimistic way of looking at that particular one. So that was Lego as a whole.
Yeah, and I must admit, we've talked about that already, and I don't believe
it's got to be one of the bigger sets, though, because you said thousands of pieces.
Thousands of pieces, yeah.
It's got to be one of the bigger sets. It's got to be like maybe the Lego Death Star. That's like 4,000 something pieces.
Lego Death Star.
Oh, the Lego Death Star.
Yeah. Okay, ready for the
next one? That's our films episode, isn't it?
That's our films one.
Yeah.
God, we're going to do this all. Number 5. Have you got a conscience, or do you not give a beep about all the other mother beepers in the world? If you have a casual approach to what's legal and care little about the effect you have on other people's lives, then this game might be right up your beeping alley, you beep.
What?
I'll read it again.
Yes, please.
Have you got a conscience, or do you not give a beep about all the other mother beepers in the world? If you have a casual approach to what's legal and care little about the effect you have on the other people's lives, then this game might be right up your beeping alley, you beep.
Is this like Danny Dyer the ball game?
Danny Dyer, you mug. No, of course it ain't.
Is it Cards Against Humanity?
No.
Oh. Beeping, beep, beep, beep. It's a lot of swearing.
Yeah.
Is it a lot of swearing because of frustration?
No, it's a lot of swearing, a lot of illegal things happening in it.
A lot of illegal things. Cluedo? Because you do a lot of illegal things happen in that. Or Clue if you're American.
One, someone gets murdered. That's it.
Yeah, but in the film, multiple people get murdered.
Yeah.
I swear, so what do you swear a lot in the game? Because it can't be a kid's game or toy. Surely. You give me a raised eyebrow.
No, I think you're slightly going off in a direction that's away from what this is.
A Rubik's Cube.
No. Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, right. It's a video game. I didn't realise we were going to video games as well.
There you go. Then now you do
This is
know.
getting very broad.
Yes, okay. Number 6. Relaxing would
You've
not...
never played that game, have you?
No. Relaxing would not describe this game. Infuriating would. Pretend to be Lewis Hamilton. If Lewis Hamilton wore dungarees and had a bushy moustache, and carelessly discards objects from your vehicle in order to waylay your competitors.
Right. Well, for one, this could also be GTA. But
I'm sorry if this has brought up bad memories for you.
This is a Mario Kart. Why would this bring up bad memories?
Well, obviously, you had a crash in your car.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, no.
Yeah, if only that guy in the van didn't throw a banana skin out.
Yeah, exactly.
That man in his plumbing van.
Shell. That plumber, yeah, he wasn't a plumber,
He wasn't a plumber, no. Let's not talk about him too much.
So, Mario Kart, well done. Number 7.
Wow!
Do you like rainbows, fluffy clouds and little pixies? Then you've probably already got one of these miniature equine nightmares, along with its itsy bitsy tiny little comb.
Polly Pocket?
No.
You like fairies and stuff?
Do you like rainbows, fluffy clouds and little pixies? Then you've probably already got one of these miniature equine nightmares, along with its itsy bitsy tiny little comb.
I can't get Sylvanian families out of my head. But that's not fairies, that's animals.
A victim. Serve them an eviction notice and they'll have to move out eventually.
Serve them an eviction notice?
No, this is nothing. I'm talking about you can't get Sylvanian families out of your head, I said.
Oh.
You idiot.
Is this a cheese joke?
Is this a cheese joke? Yes.
Fairies.
Don't think about the world where that all is all fluffy and everything's lovely.
Trolls.
No.
Oh.
Give up?
Yep.
My Little Pony.
Oh.
I did say miniature equine nightmares.
Is that equine? Is that what they're referred to as?
I think that I've got that word right, but that's basically horses.
Equestrian, I'd get.
Yeah, I think that's the right way of putting it. So, but obviously could be a fact check next week. Number 8. You know those nightmares you had as a kid? You know the ones where your toys came alive and tortured you by repeating the same thing over and over and over again in a satanic-like cackle. Well, welcome to your nightmares.
Is that like a baby doll thing?
No, kind of something specific. Yeah, I'm aware I just whacked my mic, yeah.
Yeah. Whack the mic, whack the mic.
Like Ant and Dec or PJ and Duncan.
So making noises in the night. Is that what you're saying? This thing makes noises in the night?
These things make noises.
Is it that thing that...
Very popular toy at one point.
It's not that Bob Builder thing we got downstairs go, call Dizzy on 1, 1, 3.
Let's get started.
Let's get started.
No, it isn't.
So, sorry, this is...
By repeating the same thing over and over again in a satanic-like cackle.
Oh, God. I don't know. This is really tricky. I can't think of what that could be.
It was a toy that people punched each other to try and get. It was like I don't know if it was supposed to be a little alien thing, but it was like not of this world, sort of.
And now I can
only little language.
Now I can think of aliens, the little things you have used to those egg things.
No, not those.
Furby.
Yes, well done.
All right.
Okay, we're nearly there. Then we've got two more.
They remind me of like gremlins.
Yeah. No, that is exactly what they sort of seem to be modelled on, but all the rest of it anyway.
The popularity, they're full on the popularity for it.
Right, well, I don't know if you'll get this one.
Right, because I've been very good with all the others.
A long rope with two handles. Try not to hang yourself, and if you must, invite two like-minded individuals over to join in. Hang on. A long rope with two handles. Try not to hang yourself, and if you must, invite two like-minded individuals over to join in.
A skipping rope?
Yes, skipping rope, yeah. Well, I was trying to make it different.
You said I wouldn't get that one.
Well, I was being sarcastic. I thought you would get that one.
Oh.
And here's your final
that
one.
Wasn't very it didn't sound sarcastic.
Interested in nature, the eating habits of certain land mammals, and have an unhealthy competitive personality, then look no further.
Animals, eating habits, porcupine, I've forgotten half of it.
Interested in nature, the eating habits of certain land mammals, and have an unhealthy competitive personality, then look no further.
Top trumps?
No.
Oh.
That'd have been a good one, though, wouldn't it?
It would have been a good one.
Top trumps, they're excellent, aren't they? Top trumps.
Yeah. I got plop trumps.
Yeah, plop trumps is good, isn't it?
Becky's got
a murderers one.
Yeah.
Right.
Serial killers.
Murderers or hurtlers.
How many people did they kill? That kind of thing. Sea monkeys.
No.
Land mammals, eating habits of land mammals, eating a lot of food, and I can't stop thinking of porcupines. You never said the word porcupine.
I didn't say the word porcupine.
What was the last thing you said then?
Unhealthy competitive personality.
Unhealthy
look
competitive.
no further.
Skipping rope again?
No. Interested in nature, the eating habits of certain land mammals, and have an unhealthy competitive personality, then look no further, because this is Hungry Hippos.
Oh, what? I would never have gotten that.
Oh, right. And that's the end of my little quiz. Was more accurate than most of the other ones, and you got about half of them or just over right. That's a little song I made up.
Did you do that right now?
I did, yeah.
Wow. You tell.
There's no end to my talent. There's no start to it, but there's certainly no end either.
Doesn't appear to be. That was really good. I think you should. Do you want to give yourself a little pat on the back?
Okay. Give myself a little
belly rub.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yep. Oh, that's good.
Lovely.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's the end of the quiz, but that's not the end of the podcast.
Is it not?
Do you know what we've had this week?
No.
We've had a little bit of correspondence.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember our friend Avid Listener, or Al?
Avid Listener, yeah, I'm aware of Avid Listener, yeah.
Yeah. So he sent in a complaint.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Or her?
Yeah.
She? Did he or she?
Did he or she her?
Yeah.
Did he or she her? Yes. So Al has sent in a complaint. Subject being fact check intro to episode 46 in brackets week 45.
Blimey.
So
he's got too much time on his hands, hasn't he? Or she has.
Or she, yeah. So the message is, I'll read it to you and we can discuss it after.
Okay, go for it.
Hi, father and son, unless you want to discuss that first sentence there.
No, I don't know.
Right, okay. Avid listener here. I know it's been a while, 4 weeks, ? I find myself emailing in after only 30 seconds into the 2010's episode. Connor, you begin by asking your dad what week you're on, to which he replies 45, and you correct him by saying 46. May I stress, as a huge fan of the show, I pick up on the smallest details, and I want to stick up for David on this occasion by stating that you are in fact on week 45, as you released 2 episodes in the first week. Forever listening, Al. P.S. I preferred it when you stuck with the same intro each each week, smiley face.
Ah, right. Well,
I can't believe that. How rude do you have to be to think?
You know, I'm questioning why he's listening to these podcasts. If they irritate him so much, or mind you, he's talking about you irritating him, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that's
everyone always
fair
jumps
dues.
on me. Everyone always goes like, Connor's doing stuff to
Well, I am
upset.
the victim in all this.
Are you now?
They're all the victims of
You
this.
quite literally make fun of me. There was a whole episode that you made fun of me about not getting into a school.
Really?
Yeah, do you remember that school? You made me do a quiz at the end.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Anyway, but he's waited 30 seconds, and if he hung around long enough, he would notice that I actually corrected myself there. How rude do you have to be, Al? Do that and jump in and have a go and send an email when we're just...
It's jerk reaction, isn't it?
Just jerk reaction, because you jerk.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, it's a shame.
It's really, really horrible.
It's a shame when your fans turn.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how I feel about Al now, but we've had another email.
Yeah. Okay. Who's that from?
From avid listener, Al. Fact check, previous comment. Hi, father and son. Avid listener here. It's not been as long since I sent in a message, approximately 2 minutes. I would like to sincerely apologise for my previous outbursts. I appear to have been too trigger happy and didn't give Connor a chance to correct his mistake made at the start of episode 46, week 45. I do want to bring up the mean and uncalled for comment about this Sam made by David, however. He seems like a lovely chap, and bring him on as a guest doesn't sound like a terrible idea. Forever listening, Al. P.S. Let's hope I don't regret sending this comment too early, fingers crossed. I feel a bit bad now because he's apologised and now I jumped in too early just the same as he did.
Well,
only joking. I read this before and I already knew I was going to have a go at him in the first one.
Oh, right, okay. So, and who's this Sam character? I don't even remember ridiculing him.
Well, last week we said about having someone in the room that messed with all the Christmas decorations. We had to kick him out, and then you said, yeah, we had to kick out Sam. Or whatever.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
It was the cat we kicked out. But,
yes. Okay.
But he's saying that he thinks Sam guy, Al thinks Sam would be a really good guest on the podcast.
I don't have a problem with people voicing their opinions, even if they're wrong. But I do have a real respect for someone who can stand up and say, I was wrong. I shouldn't have sent that in the first place, and I want to apologise to everyone and anyone that has been adversely affected by my harsh words. So, whoever this is that keeps writing in, I've got a lot more respect for him now.
Al the jerk.
Yeah, we'll give him benefit of doubt. We'll see how we go, because if we end up getting something else in future weeks, where we get a torrent, whatever I'm trying to say.
I don't know what you're trying to say. Torrent of abuse.
Torrent of abuse. That's the word I was looking for.
Well,
then I'll have to look back and reassess.
But I saw this email come in. Like I was sitting there and I saw the email come in, and I read it and I was thinking, he's having a go about the fact that I corrected it, and what he said. This is actually week 45 because I said week in the intro, and I was thinking, I can't believe he just said that because I actually corrected myself on the podcast, and I was thinking I'm going to make fun of this fact, and then literally I was sitting there for a couple of minutes, and then another email came through that email, and I was like, I read it, and it really made me laugh.
At least he was big enough and man enough to come,
or woman enough
to come back and say,
or if they don't identify as either, that's fine too.
Or if they're a pencil or something like a penguin.
Yep. If they're penguin enough to, I'm going to assume that Al's a penguin now.
Yeah.
Yep. Al is a penguin.
Yeah. Any particular sort of penguin?
Penguin. I would say the animal kind.
Yeah.
How about one of those ones that have the cool haircuts?
Oh, like the rock.
Yeah,
rock
ones. Rock.
Rock skipper,
Not rock skipper.
Rock jumper.
Rockhopper.
Rockhopper. That's the one. Yeah,
Rockhopper penguin.
Sort of movement.
I'm going to assume that Al is a Rockhopper penguin now.
Okay. That's quite nice, actually. I like the idea of one of them writing in, tapping on the keyboard.
We've had no listens from Antarctica, so he's a Rockhopper penguin from. We've had some listens from Belgium, so we'll say he's Belgian.
Yeah, he might be there. Yeah, visiting some relatives.
No, he moved there. He's living there long term.
He's starting a new life.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We'll hope to hear back story for him as well. Yeah.
Hope to hear back from Al again, maybe, and anyone else. Because do you know how you can send a message?
I'm aware of it. It doesn't appear to be that many other people apart from Al know. But yes, you can go onto our website, and which is www.
Just skip the www. Right. If you type in fatherandsundays.com, just type that into your search bar.
And you can go in and put your details in there. You don't have to you can go be anonymous, whatever. But you can go in there and you can make a comment. You can make a suggestion. You can just tell us your dreams. You can basically...
I want to hear someone's dreams.
Offload anything that you want.
I want to hear someone tell me about a dream they've had that's weird.
And as I said last week, I can tell you about a few dreams that I've had that are weird. As of last week...
I had a dream that I was racing a car last night.
No, that happened. Oh, last night? Oh, yeah. Right, okay, don't do that.
I knew it was a dream, so I just thought I'm just going to go faster and see how fast this car can go.
Wow.
You know when you know it's a dream and you can do that stuff?
Well, yeah. I don't always, no. Anyway, back to what we were talking about is that we're doing a Christmas episode next. And if people can be quick and get some stuff in, then we'll read it out as part of the podcast. I think it's going to be a slightly longer podcast for the Christmas one.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
So... that's fine, isn't it?
I guess so.
Yes, so it'll be slightly longer. We'll try and put more into it. And on there, talking of that website, we've got our
just quickly
merchandise on there.
With the contact page as well, you don't actually have to send us something that we read out. There is the option to say, no, I don't want this read, and we won't read it on the podcast.
No, we'll just take on board what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just you can just use it as an actual message.
Yeah, that's fine. We've got merchandise on there, so
if you want to help me buy a new car,
have a look. He's got no money now because he's had to pay out for his car to be towed away and all sorts of other things. So yeah, there's merchandise on there. I can't give you any more of a glowing recommendation from the hat than
the woolly hat
that I've already done. The woolly hat, it's exceptional. I've now tried it with some gloves, which were not available on there, but my own gloves.
All right, are you just selling other people's
The combo has been immense. I've had people comment about it in the street. Please, if you want to enrich your life, you want to make your life better, go on there and buy yourself something. And
also free shipping when you spend over £30, as long as you use the discount code FREE30. That's FREE 30 at checkout.
Now that's well worth it. What else?
There's the What's New page.
Oh, the What's New page.
Yeah, where there's nothing new on there recently,
but I wouldn't worry too much about that. There's a bit of a bio about us. Other than that,
there's the episodes on there.
The episodes are all on there, and if you don't want to listen to them from there, then they're all on, the other bobbing stuff, like Spotify.
You're doing a great job, by the way.
Apple tyres, and
it's starting to go downhill now.
Yeah, and all those other ones. Any sort of.
Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, Deezer, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Acast.
What do you call your
podcast platform?
Platform. That's the word I was looking for. Whatever platform you use.
Or you can just subscribe to our RSS feed and get it sent to you otherwise.
Or if you contact us and find out when we're doing it, you could just sit outside the room and listen.
Or if you're a cat, you can just go to sleep on the bed.
Unbelievable.
He's been there the entire time. He hasn't knocked down any Christmas decorations, though, which is great.
Okay.
But yeah, you've done a really good job there with all that stuff.
Thank you.
Really well done. But yeah, everything is available on there. And also, we've got our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Remember to like and follow us on those.
Yep, that's right.
Share with a friend. Tell a friend. Say, hey, friend, I'm friends with you. For example, your friend might be called James. Go, I'm friends with you, James. Would you like to listen to this podcast? And your James goes, oh, yes, please. What's its name? You go, Father and Sundays. And they go, oh, wow, this is very good. And you could do that as well.
And then James goes, here.
Al?
No, Bob.
Al's already listening.
Eric. Do you listen to podcasts?
Only men,
What about
apparently.
this- Well, no.
Sandra.
Sandra. What about this new podcast? It's not that new. It's been going for about a year nearly. But, what
Lots
about this?
catching
Give
up
it a
to do.
listen. So.
This
Anyway.
is one of the longest outros I think we've ever done.
It's
but
terrible,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
And also, you can also review the podcast on some podcast platforms like
that'll be
iTunes.
absolutely fine as well. Okay.
That's everything, I think.
All right.
We've gone a bit too far anyway.
Okay. Well, look, I'm getting very excited. I think everybody's getting very excited. It's nearly Christmas.
Yeah.
Next time.
We'll see you next week for the Christmas episode on Boxing Day.
Yep.
Anyway.
Bye.
Bye.